Hello, my name is Dr. Carl Candlepun, and in this special episode of my Lost podcast, I host a post-screening discussion of Season 1, Episode 13, Hearts and Minds. This discussion features first-time viewers, and as such, does not feature any spoilers beyond that point in the show. However, if you have not seen at least to this point in the series, I highly recommend you do so first before proceeding with this podcast. But without further ado, let's begin. Hey all everybody, and welcome to the group discussion of Season 1, Episode 13 of Lost, Hearts and Minds. Much like in our last group discussion episode, we once again paused the Lost episode where each of the commercial breaks would have been 20 years ago. And we basically gave ourselves a few minutes each time to talk about what just happened in the previous section of episode. It seems like you guys really liked us doing that last time, and I know that we all have enjoyed it when we were watching the episode. So it's looking like we're gonna keep this going, which I'm excited about. But yeah, as for this first section of discussion you're about to see, it's after the teaser of episode 13, in which we pick up where the last episode left off with Shannon and Saeed continuing to get close and Boone kind of observing that from a distance. And then we get the first flashback of the episode, which establishes that it is indeed our first Boone-centric episode, Boone being Julia's favorite character, or at least her favorite actor. And Boone has that first flashback showing that Shannon called him because she was in some kind of abusive relationship in Australia. And then we come out of that to Boone warning Saeed to stay away from Shannon. With that context established, here is the first part of our discussion.
Are you excited?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I've been waiting for this episode.
Yeah.
And there's already he's got some great energy happening already. And Saeed and Shannon makes me happy, so I'm thrilled.
Well, that's weird because it seems like those are two contradictory statements you just made. That you think that you like Saeed and Shannon, but then you think that Boone's energy is great.
It's good drama. It's story.
Okay.
Also, I like Ian Somerhalder being assertive. Aggressive.
You can say aggressive. Yeah, well, we know. Brian, are you excited?
I'm super excited. We got Locke back in the episodes, and that's all I care about.
Yeah.
Haven't seen Sawyer. That's good with me. Haven't seen Kate.
Yeah,
that's good with me.
Don't get too excited. They may or.
Oh, they can have a walk-on roll.
Yeah, it's only been about 5 minutes of episode.
They can have a walk-on roll, no more.
Any guesses where the episode might go, just based on a little teaser?
I mean, Shannon apparently has bad taste in men, in his opinion.
Well, in that flashback, something.
That doesn't necessarily mean it was her fault, but Boone sees it as her fault. That's my.
Well, but I mean, if she's getting abused by some guy in Australia and she's dating that could support the idea that she has bad taste in men.
It could
she's dating
support-
somebody that's an
It
abuser.
could support.
Wasn't there something
He
I think he
about?
said
that.
something along those lines. in the
Wasn't there
previous
something
episode.
about the guy in France that he wasn't any good?
Well, I don't know that they said. I mean, you could infer that from how young she is and the fact that he had a kid, but I don't think anybody outwardly said like, oh, that blew up because he was an asshole or anything like that.
You think because he was an escort?
Right.
So in this first full act of episode, we get to see Jack and Kate kind of bonding over Son's new garden after the awkward way that things ended in the last episode between the two of them. And then, of course, we get Boone and Locke out at the hatch. Locke gives his speech about Michelangelo, And then when they're returning from the hatch, Boone is trying to convince Locke that they should tell Shannon. We go to commercial break right as Locke knocks Boone out.
How do we feel about Locke now?
I have been consistent from day one.
Brian, how do you feel about Locke?
Oh, I'm sure he's got his reasons.
I mean, he did have that great speech about Michelangelo or whatever.
Did you like his speech about Michelangelo?
No.
No.
Like, you really didn't like it, like prior to this happening.
I mean, no.
Well, why didn't you like it?
Because they need food, and he is comparing himself to Michelangelo.
Fair.
Okay, but I don't know if anybody heard me, but when they showed the beginning, the flashbacks to last episode, there was a clip at the end of it that was something about him being safe with Locke, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I hate these fucking recaps because they always fucking hit at shit.
I knew this was coming. I was like, he's gonna do something to him.
Except for the previously on Lost guy, he's cool. We can roll with him.
I just wish there was an option on these Blu-rays to skip that, and there isn't. Like if you click skip on that part, it skips to the first official act of the episode. It skips the whole teaser. Did you see in the flashback Shannon's bruise?
Mm-hmm.
It's
in the flashback, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That she was totally hinting.
I thought it was hard to notice on this, but it sounds like you guys caught it. So weird.
For the viewers at home, we have a bright light shining right on our screen.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. Otherwise, this is awesome. This is an awesome.
Yeah, we're watching on about 125-inch screen or something.
Jack and Kate seem to be making up a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, that was sweet.
Does that make you mad?
I'm so tired. They're back and forth.
But I mean, Jack got that little quip in that was pretty good. It's like, well, it's not like it's a secret. Like, well, it's hard to tell what he says.
He may have found his balls last week, but he lost them pretty quickly.
Why? Just because he hasn't.
Because he's being friendly again. Who has time?
Nice
for,
man.
It's time to be nice to girls.
who has time for that shit? It annoys the piss out of me because that's exactly how I am. I can't hold a grudge.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
I'm just staring at myself acting out on the screen, and I'm like, nope.
This is so sad.
We're getting psychological here.
Let me ask real quick. Any idea why Locke's knocking Boone out?
So that he doesn't tell Shannon.
But okay, so what is the plan here?
I don't know. Locke doesn't make any good decisions ever.
I don't think that's true.
He's not my favorite.
No,
Obviously.
I mean, I think he's just gonna keep him there until he figures it out or something. Or we'll maybe talk sense into him.
In this next section of episode that we discuss, Boone awakens tied up. Locke puts the stuff on his head, leaves the knife for him, and then when Locke's headed back to the camp, he runs into Saeed, tells the story about being a Weebelo, and gives Saeed his compass. Boone later comes to again and hears Shannon screaming. He manages to free himself. He frees Shannon. They run from the monster. They're hiding in the banyan tree, and the monster continues to smash into the tree.
Julia, you were saying all kinds of things that I couldn't hear. Well, what was the thing that she said that had you laughing?
It was just, I don't even I don't know. It was Boone in danger. She's over here stressed out.
And Shannon.
And then
Shannon was also in danger.
Cussing Locke out.
I was mad.
It tickled me a bit.
I am mad.
Well, I mean, he gave him a knife. He gave him a knife.
Pretty good one. He gave him some rope too.
What?
Little tough
I
love.
legit thought he was gonna have to break his arm to get out. So I am grateful for that he at least didn't have to break his arm.
Yeah. See, Locke's not so bad.
He's really the hero of the show.
Did you feel sympathy for him at all when he's talking about not being a popular kid?
No.
Right.
In fact, when Boone was carrying the knife and running back before they had to hide in the tree, whatever, I was hoping that he would just stab Locke. I was like, just get rid of Locke now.
Stab Locke. Jesus.
Yeah, he had the knife out, and I was like, just go!
If they kill Locke, they're all going to die.
Locke's not gonna hunt anymore? gave his compass to Saeed, so Saeed will be distracted.
There's bigger things than killing piggies on the island.
Wow. Well, hold on a second. She even giving Saeed the compass, which you think is him helping Saeed out. She has a negative interpretation of that.
Yeah.
What's wrong with
I
that?
think he gave Saeed the compass so he would be distracted, so he wouldn't look for Shannon. Because Saeed was so into what was happening with the.
Okay.
What if Saeed's the one that tied Shannon up?
There's no way.
Sure.
It was an unrelated tying up.
You don't know what they're into.
Yeah.
These
It
crazy
was a just for
kids.
fun one, and they got kind of mixed up. That's why he needed the compass. They got separated. And
There
Could have been Jack that tied her up. We are jumping to conclusions here.
I mean, there's only one person who's using ropes at this point.
And we got people fishing with ropes here. Yeah, it could have been Jen.
That's true. The rope.
She could have been bait for the fish.
No,
Yeah.
What did you guys think about Sawyer in the police station?
that was fun.
That seems like where he belongs.
The Hurley Gin fishing thing had me wanting to ask you, because I don't think he's come up since you've started attending. What are your feelings on Gin?
I really don't have any. He's just a asshole to this point.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason his wife doesn't like him.
You know who else is back? Is the monster.
Apparently, the monster's got a truck or something. Those headlights shining through.
I think what you're talking about is the shadow, like when it moves, the sunlight comes back.
Yeah.
It's the shadow of it.
So, Act 3 of this episode is kind of abnormally long, and as a result, the last 2 acts of the episode are much, much shorter. But anyways, a lot happens in this section of episode that we end up discussing. Starting with Jack and Saeed talking about the compass and how it appears to be defective. Jack then, he's suspicious of Locke because they're not bringing in Boar. He goes and talks to Charlie about Charlie's feelings of Locke, and Charlie kind of vouches for him and says that Locke saved his life. Meanwhile, in the garden, Kate realizes that Sun speaks English. In the flashback storyline, Boone comes to realize that Shannon has been conning him, and him and Brian get in the physical altercation. And then the act ends with Shannon and Boone in the jungle. Boone briefly defends Locke, saying he's the only one that has a clue as to what's going on. And then the monster rips up a tree and chases them, and then scoops Shannon up. And I'm actually going to let you guys see the reaction to that moment before we resume our discussion.
Well, shit.
Get eaten by a dinosaur.
You went
You all right, Julia?
No.
She's fine. She's fine.
Is she?
We don't know.
We
can't say.
You don't know yet. I mean,
How you feeling?
did that seem serious to you? Seemed fine.
Are you gaslighting me right now?
She's finally minced. She's been turned into a fine mist.
How are we supposed to have commentary on anything else right now?
So how,
I know.
Yeah, a lot of
So much.
a lot of
happened in
stuff
that,
just happened,
and then
then-
that completely overshadowed it.
how pissed are you that Boone is taking sides with Locke now?
You mean like how he's defending against Shannon? Yeah.
Defending him?
I'm waiting to see what he's gonna say about why he's.
So Boone could be the thing that turns you around on Locke.
No.
Yeah.
I
If
wouldn't
anything.
like Locke, but I could forgive Boone for being okay with Locke. Locke.
Fair enough. Charlie though was
Yeah, very Burlock.
That was disgusting.
Shame on Charlie.
I mean, at least he's walking
Not
and
sure
talking
what- I mean,
again.
it makes sense for Charlie, but it just was like really painful to watch, knowing what's actually happening because Locke is a maniac.
Well, and I mean, do you appreciate that Jack at least is getting a little suspicious of Locke?
Yep.
Yeah, I know.
Especially Saeed. I'm really happy that Saeed was smart enough to pick up on what Locke was doing, even if he doesn't know exactly why. Saeed was like, something's wrong here,
So you think that Locke somehow made the compass defective?
or knew it was defective.
Okay.
Because you could have a compass that you knew was like, okay, it's always like this much away, so you could like keep it for yourself, but then you could use it as tricks.
But as I say, it's like, because according to your line of thought and why he gave Saeed the compass, it wouldn't have to be a defective compass to do what you think he was doing.
Not necessarily, but if it was a defective compass, it could be.
Do you think the show, what would be the point of the show, like going out of its way to like tell us?
I don't know. I just hate Locke a lot. I think he's a bad man.
Okay. Well, so moving on, not to speak ill of the dead, but what about the reveal in the flashbacks of what Shannon was doing? Did that make you?
I did not enjoy that.
Yeah.
Either. Especially what happened to Boone as a consequence of what she was doing.
Yeah.
That was not enjoyable.
Brian.
How did you feel about that, Brian?
I didn't mind it.
You didn't mind her doing that?
No, I hated that she did it because that's a fucking filthy little thing to do. It annoyed me that he was coming in there trying to throw money at it, and he's like, "I've done this 3 times." It just seemed very pompous and withdrawn. Pick up a stick and knock the guy off the dock with it. Don't just throw money because that's how you waste your money. That's
Seems
how
like
you
they
set
got money to
yourself up
waste.
for this exact situation.
Yeah.
So when you yelled out "fuck,"
Yeah.
was that a tree being ripped straight out of the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you? That was what I was thinking about asking for a second. There are things that it's possible to notice in this that could inform conclusions about the nature of this thing.
Well, the monster must be very tall.
Okay.
What's
No. I'm just saying. Okay.
That's not good enough.
Is the monster even on the ground at all?
Yes, you.
Do you think it's flying around?
Really
Sure as
tall.
shit seems like
Like it was
it's
flying?
like it's aerial.
Yeah.
Like it's just scooping through and wreaking havoc on shit.
Is it not just a dragon, but a flying?
Yeah,
or not
it's
just
a
a
big-
dinosaur, but a flying dinosaur.
It's a
Forget I
big
said
sea dragon. That's all it is. With
I
headlights.
no longer think it's zombies.
Kate knows Son's secret now.
Yes.
And remember last week, Son overheard Kate's secret. So now they kind of know each other's secrets.
And now they get to share over gardening.
I also remembered that last week it seemed like Jack and Son were going to have something, and then now Kate and Son are talking, and so that's interesting. Drama.
Yeah.
It's a love, complicated shape at this point. I lost track of how many points there were.
Pentagram, yeah.
It's like a love spider web at this point, yeah.
In this next section, we discuss 2 big developments. The first being that Boone and Shannon sleep together in the flashback, and where the act ends, Boone finds Shannon's body next to the stream.
She's fine, Julia. She's fine.
Yeah, she's absolutely fine. Didn't you see?
You all right?
No!
Okay, well, so let's the flashback.
There's more coming, right?
There's more episodes.
Yeah, it's not over till you see the flashback. You seemed surprised.
Who wouldn't be?
Were you
A
surprised?
little.
Brian?
I was surprised that a show would go there, especially at the time period.
This was before incest was in fashion. Lost went there first. Although they did
More
go.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, Game of Thrones like that. HBO did. I thought HBO did it first. Apparently, it was.
Yeah. Although they did go out of their way earlier in the episode to
So
emphasize.
they were like,
no,
But
no
okay, but
blood
that's
relation.
wait, was it no blood relation or not?
No blood
No
relation.
blood
yeah.
relation.
Wait, okay, so
His mom, Boone's mom, married Shannon's dad, and then they became stepsiblings.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, that helps.
We're no longer shocked at all.
Well, and what was funny was last week Drew, not this one,
Not this one.
was asking. He's like,
Yes, if they were, yeah.
yeah, could Boone and Shannon have been lying about their relationship? And I was like, where are you going with this?
What?
and I mean, they were oversimplifying it by saying brother and sister, but yeah, no, they weren't like trying to deceive anybody.
It didn't really change my opinion of them.
Of what?
Of them banging.
What was your opinion of
This
it?
assumes all rich
that
people.
they were probably banging.
Okay. So you suspected this all
Oh
along?
yeah.
Yeah.
They're rich step siblings that.
I mean, if
are
you've seen Gossip
bratty and
Girl.
fucking yeah. They banged at least once, even if they were blood. Probably still. Probably
every
still.
good romance has some weird obstacle. So watching Boone be terrified about losing her was just.
Do you think that's the most expensive hooker he's ever paid for?
Whoa!
Hey, I would certainly hope so.
Those are two very, very different angles on this piece.
Well, I mean, that's what's fucked up about it. I think is not only that she went there and did that, or that she was exploiting his feelings all this time for all that money, but the way she is afterwards, I think, is like the most fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
And for this last bit of episode, I'm also going to show you guys the reaction to the big reveal that Locke actually drugged Boone and Shannon is in fact fine. And then from there, it's going to go into our typical post-episode discussion.
It's your fault. You drug her out there. Your sister. Don't play dumb with me. Calm down. She died in my arms. Why is there no blood on me?
It was a hallucinogenic fucking bomb. Ugh.
What the hell just happened to me? I don't know. You tell me. That's your sister, Shannon?
I told
had a
you
big
she
reaction.
was fine. I told you over and over that she was
I
fine.
did not believe you for 1 second.
Brian, let me start with you, actually.
Yes, sir.
Opinion on what Locke, now that you know the full context, do you agree with Locke doing what he did?
Fuck yes, I do. Locke is the shamanistic linchpin of this new society.
He is a pioneer in psychedelic therapy. He's years ahead of the curve.
He is, yeah. You can't. He could kill everybody on the island. I'd still think he was the best person there.
They probably did.
Because he had a reason. The island told him to do it. Yeah, no, I'm still solidly 100% Team Locke.
Okay.
I don't care what anybody says.
There's the head tilt towards me.
And for the opposite opinion now.
Well, but like, and where is that coming from? Is it? I know you talked a lot before, like when we first talked about Locke and your feelings about him. It was a lot. It was really rooted in what he did with Charlie, I think.
Yeah, I mean he's always looking at what's going on and finding the best solutions. I think his intent is the purest on the fucking island. For
What is that intent?
to make it through, to live, to thrive, and to figure out what the fuck's going on.
Okay. Is that what you think his intent is?
I hate that man.
So as you can see, we're all in agreement.
But I appreciate that, and we could talk much more about that.
I'm angry right now.
But first, let's answer the question. Do you think that the funny thing is I'm like legitimately at this point in the show? I mean, it's hard because of the way I watched it, but I feel like at this point in the show, you guys are the two extremes. Locke can do no wrong, and I fucking hate him. I think I'm pretty solidly in the middle of those two things. But what he said about the intent, would you agree? Would you agree with that assessment of his intent?
I think that I think he has a God complex. I think he thinks that his intent is good. I don't think he's super manipulative.
But I mean, what I mean is like he says, Brian says that Locke's intent is to live, to get through this, and to figure out what's going on. Do you agree with that?
I definitely don't think his goal is to get off the island. For sure.
Sure. Which I mean, he didn't say that was one of his goals.
I look at Locke. Locke is a very stoic person. He is a realist, and he probably realizes there's not a shot in hell that they're getting off the island. So make the best of it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I just don't feel like that's like that he could have been like working towards like building a society if that's all his goal is. Like,
well, you have to have a foundation for a society, and
yeah, but like building community and like, but like the way what he's doing is not. It's just something's off.
Well, I don't think it's a spoiler to say. I think the thing that you said that I agree with the most, as far as his intent, is figuring out what's going on purely because of the Hatch thing, and like he's clearly wanting to figure out what the deal is with that. Is wanting to exclude other people from knowing about it. It's almost like he's trying to keep control of figuring it out. Like he doesn't want anybody else involved.
Why do you think
That's
he's not
true.
telling people about it?
well, he doesn't want a bunch of people stomping around the scene, distracting from getting at the core of it.
What?
If they weren't catching fish, he wouldn't be hunting.
I'm sorry. Are you saying that you think that if they weren't catching fish, he would be?
Absolutely, he wouldn't let the people starve. I don't think.
Okay.
He sees what needs focusing on now, and he's fixated on that.
Yeah.
I do not like men like that.
But
Make decisions for everybody else without.
Well, but he's not.
well,
On this particular thing, because it's not pertinent to the functionality of what's going on with everyone here, he can focus on this. They're fed, they're well. He can focus on this. Maybe this is going to lead to something greater. Who knows?
well, and what about Julia's point about if he let other people know, like maybe they could help figure out how to get into this thing?
Well, I mean, at this point, it's I don't know. It's possible, but it's a clusterfuck too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What do you think his reason might be for not?
Well, he's just not a very social creature in the first place. I don't know. I really haven't thought it thought it that far forward ahead. But I can't be mad at him. I don't like people most of the time either.
Well,
Drugging people against their will. Like,
if Shannon had really died, would you have held that against Locke? Maybe it would have been a good question before.
I mean, I'd have been like, why the fuck did you tie her to the tree in the first place? What did she do to you? Yeah. No, but I do recognize his role as the shaman in all of this.
So the end of the episode where, okay, Boone's been won over. Basically, Boone has had the reaction to what Locke put him through that Locke wanted him to have. Mm-hmm. Did that make you feel good? Like, did that seem like a promising?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't have a bad reaction to the trip.
Right.
He saw the purpose in it.
But I mean, like the tone of the episode, did it feel like, okay, this is going in a good direction?
Everything dark and lit by firelight really seems optimistic.
Well, and the music, yeah.
Yeah, we're not getting like the Damien Rice montages we were getting earlier, the beautiful sunsets in like episode 2 and 3.
It piqued my curiosity on where he's leading him next.
Right.
I didn't feel.
She's so pissed.
I think now they're that much closer to getting the hatch open. So that's great.
I'm so unhappy with that.
You're not happy Shannon's alive?
Yes, I'm happy Shannon's alive. I'm not happy that he put Boone through that. I'm not happy that he did the whole let her go thing. Like, she's there. She's right there. She's gonna be there the whole time. Like, he has to be around her all the time.
Well, so you think that he meant when he says let her go? Do you think he meant like just fucking ignore her from now on?
No, but like to put him through that intense of emotional experience about Shannon right now when Shannon is around is just really fucked up.
You don't think that
I know he didn't know that it was going to be Shannon, but still.
Well, he needed that because Shannon is going in the direction of Saeed. She's going to be taken away from him. He's going to be sitting there brooding like a fucking teenager.
Like he was.
Not being able to be a functioning member of this society in any form. So, Locke may not have given him his medicine with the kid gloves on, but he gave him exactly what he needed. He gave him that opportunity for growth, and
kind of ignoring how he did it. Do you not think that it was beneficial to Boone to not be so fixated on Shannon, given what we've seen of their relationship, not just in the flashbacks, although, yeah, but just how they are on the island as well. I'm just asking, just set aside how it happened. I'm not saying that you're wrong for feeling that way about that. Setting aside, do you think that is better for Boone to let go of Shannon?
He really loved her.
Well,
But she
For a
didn't.
really long time.
But she didn't love him.
yeah.
Well, fuck her, but he really loved her though.
But as I'm saying, it's like if it's not reciprocated, and you saw how he was with Saeed.
We don't want to just sit here and see Boone used all the time. Now he can
He's
become.
got to flap his wings and fly free.
Now he can become a real man.
He's gonna fly up in the treetops with the monster. Which, keep in mind, now you guys theorized about the monster. We don't actually know because none of that was real.
Well, you keep jumping.
I know, I keep jumping ahead.
Yeah, I'm not ready to go there quite yet. And the only reason I'm not ready to go there quite yet is because there's something that we're not drilling into here. And I don't know if you're not wanting to say it or you're just struggling with how to say it.
Do we need to put some goop on your head and we can get to the point?
If you don't want to get into it. But there's something to what we're saying that's bothering you. I feel like it's related maybe to something in your own life.
Maybe a lost therapy. This is lost therapy. Yeah.
We should probably talk about the monster.
Okay, fair enough. I didn't, okay. Well, so yeah, I guess since that's the thing that he most recently brought up is Shannon wasn't there. Everything we saw of him in the jungle with Shannon.
Also, that was torture. That was just the whole episode. It was torture. The whole episode was so stressful.
Torture for you.
For me personally.
I mean, it was. You could argue that it was also literally torture.
Well, no, but I had a feeling she wasn't saying that.
For a couple minutes, I may have been angry at you.
Me?
Yes.
For making you watch it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, that doesn't bode well because I guarantee you there will be much more emotional, distressing episodes to come.
I know. Well, the next time they do a death, it's going to be a real one.
Yeah.
They can't do
You can't do 3 fake outs.
They can't do another fake out. Yeah, it's going to be real.
Fair enough.
I can't remember if you're right or not.
You'd be mad if it was another fake out.
Yeah, I'd be kind of pissed.
Okay. Anyways, but what I was saying, Shannon wasn't there. Does that mean the monster wasn't there? Is that your guys' read on it?
He was hiding from the monster alone.
He was imagining it, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the whole thing could have been hallucination. The monster may not have even been present for the whole thing. But, we have the confirmation that Shannon wasn't there. We don't necessarily have confirmation that the monster wasn't there. The monster could have been stomping around, bashing into trees, and then maybe...
I mean, that's the thing, is what Locke did was so fucking dangerous because Boone could have died.
Yeah. But he had faith that he wouldn't. And I'm not saying that makes... I'm not saying that makes it right.
You can't say that.
I'm not saying that makes it right. I'm just saying from Locke's perspective, I think he truly believed that that Boone would be fine. Again, I'm not saying that makes it okay. I'm just saying he wasn't malicious in his intent.
So you're viewing Locke as this
no.
ruler.
He is. Well, sorry, I'll let you finish. As religious, what were you going to say?
This faithful leader.
Yes, I do.
But that's a little bit different than the shaman.
Well, no, I know, but hold on. That does not.
I mean, I know he had the miracle thing, so he's the delusional preacher who's fucking with people, and that's okay.
That's what I'm saying. Is even me viewing him that way that doesn't mean it's good or bad. It could go either way.
But he's not.
He's the evil priest.
He's not pushing the shit on people. He drugged the guy. But
He's pushing on Boone a little bit, I think you could argue.
Is he?
I don't know. Maybe not.
He's just sharing perspective with him and
True.
drugging him.
I would say at this point, yeah, he's not.
Who doesn't benefit from a little dosage of hallucinogens from time to time against their will?
Locke does seem, I will point out at this point, Locke does seem to know a little bit about drugs after this and after Charlie.
The more he does, it comes back to that shaman thing, a rite of passage. He sees these things that can develop from a certain path, and he urges them towards that path. up to the point of dosing them with very powerful hallucinogenics.
Yeah, everyone else was hunting for seeds and like plants, and he was hunting for his own seeds and plants.
Where can we get some mescaline?
Well, and actually, this might be a good time to bring that
It's
up.
a very botany-heavy episode.
Yeah.
He knocks Boone out in response to Boone insisting that they tell Shannon, right? Mm-hmm. But did you guys recall that prior to that conversation happening, Locke was already
That's for later.
preparing the drugs? Yeah, he's like, "What is that?" "Oh, it's for later."
And at that point, I'm thinking to myself, either that is explosives that he's making, or it's
Drugs.
drugs.
Yeah. So you kind of. But so did it not occur to you then when he puts it on his head and then afterwards?
I think that he had two outcomes from that point. Either Boone was going to not try and go against the flow of this, and he was going to give him that opportunity to have the session, the trip, or he was going to force him down that path. I think the outcome was going to be Boone was going to take drugs. Either way.
Sure. Sorry, but my question though is, like, did you know the whole time that he was hallucinating?
I figured he might be.
Okay, because you thought those might be drugs. Okay, fair enough. Well, that was what I wanted to ask you, because you talked about why you really liked what Locke did with Charlie, that had something to do with your own history. Do you not, and maybe not, do you not take issue with Locke drugging somebody against their will?
I do. Because you take somebody's right to choose away their state of mind, but extenuating circumstances. They're in this life or death situation. If Locke is seeing the bigger picture, because we don't know what's going through his head, what he's actually envisioning happening here. If he's in tune with something, if he's not, whatever. If he's delusional, but I do take from a moral standpoint, it's definitely I take issue with it. But from a survival standpoint, I understand it.
Okay. Well, so I'll point out the name of the episode, Hearts and Minds. Typically that expression is related to like propaganda, getting people on board with your agenda, and really I feel like the only way that fits in the context of the episode is Locke winning over Boone at the end, his heart and mind. I mean, obviously you could look at Shannon, but I mean, again, from the propaganda standpoint, it doesn't really fit. Although, yeah, she manipulated his heart and his mind.
Hearts and minds, and
also
stomachs,
ruin my whole
and
psychic
feet.
thing.
What'd you say?
The ending also does mess with my whole theory about the compass, because
Right.
Shannon wasn't tied up.
Exactly. It also would be, like, if his whole goal here is to prevent more people from finding out about the hatch, putting both Boone and Shannon in this situation and expecting neither of them.
Are you saying that I should have known better?
No. I'm saying that's how cool. That's how cool. It's like any good twist. Like once you go back and think about it, you're like, oh yeah, no, this actually made sense, and there were hints to it the whole
I think you're
time.
just blaming me for my own trauma.
Anyway, the Hearts and Minds thing, and then Jack going to Charlie, and Charlie kind of demonstrates that Locke won over his heart and mind a while ago. And that kind of goes back to, again, I wish Drew was here for this because the other one.
He wishes I wasn't here for this.
Drew said way back in the sixth episode when Locke first takes the drugs from Charlie, that he thought that Locke might have an ulterior motive of like trying to win Charlie over to his perspective, and whether or not that was his goal, that is certainly the result. Like Charlie is completely on Team Locke because of what Locke did. Where that may or may not go is just interesting to think about.
I'm so sad for Boone.
Well, what are you sad about? Because I think, and I mean maybe we'll see next week, but I feel like by the end of the episode, he feels pretty good about where he's at.
I don't think he felt good at all. I think he felt sad and overwhelmed. And
When he says that he's relieved, or that he was
he
relieved.
was relieved when he thought she was dead.
Yeah.
But she's not dead,
That's
so he
not
feels
a
bad
good
again.
feeling.
Shit, now he's going to kill her.
No,
I did wonder about that.
he said he was relieved and he's emotional about that realization, but then Locke says, yeah, it's time to let go. Like now you realize how much of a burden these emotional feelings that you have about this relationship. Now that you realize that, you can let it go. You can let it be. You don't have to be so obsessive about her, about this.
I'm so sad. Just know I'm thoroughly judging myself for my feelings right now. So.
I think you're right to be concerned. Again, I think that's the tone as I read it of the end of the episode is like, ooh, like Boone might be like a little bit too willing to listen to Locke now. But at the same time, I think it is worth acknowledging that I do feel like in this moment he has been helped by this experience. Again, I'm not saying that makes it right for Locke to have done what he did.
It is possible that I did not dislike Shannon enough prior to this episode to be able to process like the 1-2 punch of, oh, actually she's horrible. Oh wait, like he's in love with her. Just kidding, she's horrible. No, now you're supposed
and also
to like,
she's
not,
dead. Yeah.
Because I just got invested in his love for her, and now she's like horrible, and now like he's supposed to not love her anymore.
I feel like you're reading his love for her as like just inherently a good thing. Like
because love is a good thing.
If it's not rooted in certain things, sure. I mean, that's the thing. We don't know a lot about their relationship growing up,
but
and how it reached this
he's
point.
Like so protective of her. It takes like really cares about her, and that's really beautiful.
Okay, well, so let's pretend for a second that this wasn't a con.
That they set that up.
Let's
go ahead,
let's pretend for a second that she wasn't conning him, and that she really was in trouble all these times, and that this was how he was handling those situations because he loved her. Do you really think he was helping her? Like was paying off guy after guy only for her to keep going into another abusive relationship actually helping her? Or did she require something along the lines of what Locke did to Boone? No. Like parents love their children to the point where they don't feel like they can discipline them, and then that ends up being to the detriment of the child. So there are ways in which love, just the term love and the notion of love, like yes, that is a good thing, but like it can cloud motivations or it can do harm. Boone's feelings for Shannon, regardless of how appropriate or inappropriate they are, like let's just take it as it was love, and he genuinely cared about her. It wasn't doing him any good, and it wasn't doing her any good. That's my point. And if it's not doing either of them any good, and it's actually doing them harm, or at least one of them harm, then I think, yeah, if it's possible, he should let it go and move on. That is where I'm coming from when I say that while not agreeing with how Locke did it, or saying that it was right, I think that the end result was beneficial for Boone at this point in time. Wait, does anybody else have anything about the Locke and Boone before we finally... I've got very little things left.
I mean, I want to get into what you think is in the hatch, because we skipped over that.
We did. We'll
Probably a talking monkey.
I think the hope is that there's food in there, potentially, but...
So just digging into that, not saying it's wrong.
Right.
Why would there be food in there?
I mean, I kind of think it looks like almost like the side of a plane.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I mean, generally, like, people are going to, like, have a weird subterranean something. Like, it's like a cellar or whatever. So food seems logical.
Also, food came up a lot in this episode.
Yeah.
Thinking of it.
But even, like, when they first saw it, that's what I kind of figured, is that there would be food in there.
Yeah. You guys had been saying that you thought it was a bunker, and this was the first time.
I could see the bunker thing. Well, I kind of assumed there would be food in the bunker.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
You guys were kind of already thinking in a similar direction.
And this also leading to tunnels, potentially.
Tunnels.
For the others.
Why do you think they would have tunnels?
So they could go places if they want to.
Well, why would they need to do that underground?
Because of the monster.
Oh,
I'm making that up right just now. I was originally just I want tunnels, but I don't know.
But that's why I'm asking these questions. It's not to be like, oh, this is stupid, you're wrong.
No,
it's like, okay, well, yes. So what would that mean? What would that mean? What would that mean? And maybe some of what you're saying is right. I do feel like
maybe that's where Alex is. Not really. That was just like a wild. I don't actually think that that's the case.
Could be.
Okay. Sorry, Brian's really got something to say.
I figured that
It bothers me not knowing what the perception of people would be if Locke had a face like Sawyer or Boone.
Yeah.
You think, actually, I was like, that's a good point, because she's in the mindset that Boone can do no wrong because of her crush on him. Right. So if Boone was literally doing everything that Locke was doing.
You just described the Vampire Diaries.
I mean, literally, yeah.
And you are on board with it with that.
If it was Boone doing it, but it's not Boone doing it.
I just had to feel that
way.
I mean, okay,
so we're exposing some prejudice here, Julia. No, I mean, see, like it is their physical looks.
Pretty privilege is real.
That define how you react.
It's not just about the physical looks. To be fair, with Vampire Diaries, there's also a lot of motive exposed that is helpful.
Yeah.
Because when he does things like murder people, it's usually because they also are trying to murder someone.
And he looks
Not
beautiful
always.
doing it.
but he also does the eyes darkened thing, and if they were doing that with Locke, it's not just about looks, it's about how they handle the character.
Maybe if Locke wore a little mascara.
Well, that's the bottom line here. What we've established.
The bottom line here is that I have flawed opinions.
Well,
are you calling me a crazy woman?
The bottom line is that you have acknowledged that if everything that Locke has done was the same, but instead it was somebody that looked like Boone, like it was Ian Somerhalder playing Locke.
I'm not acknowledging it. I laughed.
And nodded a bit. And didn't deny that I would
feel
completely different.
I mean, the whole I'm gonna need to process this episode after.
So let's do what we do at the end of every episode. Favorite character / least favorite character, has it changed?
Favorite character, Locke. Least favorite character.
He's thinking about saying Boone.
He is thinking about it.
Hurley.
Okay.
Ooh.
Wow. Just because. Why is that?
Because sometimes I just have a rational. He's not playing much of a role in anything other than just being there right now. So.
Well,
nobody else.
People. That's true though.
I mean, if I'm being, assessing the actual episode, it would be Shannon.
Based on the flashbacks.
Yeah.
Fair, that's fair. Okay.
I just didn't want to bring her back up.
Yeah.
Least favorite Locke.
Yeah.
Obviously. Always, forever. Which is a Vampire Diaries.
Oh.
Oh yeah, it is.
And obviously Boone is favorite. And Kate is closer again, but Boone is still number one.
Okay. Kate, you feeling better about Kate just because?
I just needed some time to heal.
Who do you think next episode's about?
Maybe Michael?
Okay.
Pretty sure I'm wrong.
Who's the next episode about? Locke. More about Locke.
I think that's what I had thought. I think I thought it was the second episode on Locke.
Okay. So you're changing it? Or sticking with
No, I'm just saying I'm going to be wrong whatever my answer is.
Well, or maybe. I mean, probably. That's just based on the odds, but
I was a little busy,
that's the fun of it. Okay, well, so now I'll tell you the episode title, and then if that changes anything, let me know, and if not, that's fine. The episode is called Special. It's a clip show episode.
It's a live episode.
Sticking with Locke. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that sounds like Locke, especially because of what he said about school.
Okay, so that's everything we've got. We'll be back next time for episode 14 special. Hope you guys come back. I would now like to give a special thank you to the currently active donors. These include candidate number 90, Ben Ward, candidate number 108, Jeffrey Winslow, candidate number 69, Brian Phillips, candidate number 32, Chuck Boyd, and candidate number 341, Hans. If you too would like to become a candidate, you can do so for as little as $1. One-time or recurring donations can be set up on Ko-fi.com/candlepun or Patreon.com/candlepun. A donation of any amount will get you credited in this podcast and added to the candidate wall, which will be displayed in all video versions
of the episodes of the from that point forward, even once you're no longer donating. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the multiple people that have donated equipment and resources that are used in the production of this podcast. These include Mary Mullins, Brandon Huth, Charles Huth, William McMahon, and Charlene McMahon. Until next time, namaste and good luck.
How would knocking somebody out, how then would you be like, now look,
I don't
listen.
know.
Have you never heard of Stockholm Syndrome?
You mean Lockholm syndrome?
Oh, we got in there. We're not getting nothing better than that.
To like this video, click the thumbs up. Or, if there has been an incursion by the hostiles, click the thumbs down. To leave feedback, enter a comment below. To be notified when more videos arrive, click the circle and then select the notification bell. To view previous content from this channel, click either of the two boxes.